Christmas Magic, a true story by Rebecca Prophet. Once upon a time, there lived a large family with 11 children. The kids were blessed with the most magnificent mother and father, and when the kids became adults, they all wanted their mother and father to come and live with them. The mother and father were dragged across the world trying to be there for every wedding and baptism day, every baby blessing and new house purchase. They went to Europe and Hawaii, to Calgary, Edmonton, Washington, and Arizona. They finally settled in a little cottage on Vancouver Island. But one place they promised to never go was Alberta in the wintertime. You see, both mother and father had grown up as children in Alberta, digging snow tunnels through their fields and emptying their half-frozen night pans into the outhouse. Never again, they vowed, would they visit the cursed place during the cold, long winter months. As the years passed, the youngest daughter in the family began to feel sorry that she had not seen her mother and father for over 2 years. She made several attempts to visit them in their little cottage on the island, but for one reason or another, none of them were successful. Before long, her homestead was overrun with so many animals that it became impossible to leave it. The youngest daughter believed that perhaps she would never see her parents again, as their health was declining and the world was in chaos. One November morning, however, the mother and father woke up with an unexpected burst of energy that filled them from top to bottom. In a desperate moment of confusion, they forgot it was still wintertime and boarded a plane bound for Cardston, Alberta. They arrived on a deceivingly lovely afternoon with a soft Chinook wind blowing through the prairies and settled in nicely to their new accommodations. The stunning mountain views lulled them into a deep sleep. That night, a wicked north wind blew in so hard and ferocious that they were absolutely and completely snowed in by the next morning. Their car was buried deep beneath the snow, and the front door to the house was totally covered. The mother and father were shocked at the situation. After several weeks, the snow finally melted, and the earth was covered in a deep and sticky brown mud that clung to everything it touched. The mother and father spent hours each day scrubbing mud off the floors and washing their clothes from the despicable substance. When the mud had dried up, the earth was transformed into a skating rink that sent them skidding across the cold, hard ground with bruises and bumps that were painful to touch all over their bodies. When the ice melted, the government announced that nobody could go anywhere, or else they would be eaten up by a devouring monster and surely die. Poor mother and father were not very happy. Although this was the worst possible scenario for the mother and father, for the youngest daughter, it was in fact a dream come true. Rebecca's husband had recently left for a business trip and was unexpectedly absent during the holiday season. Difficult farm chores that needed to be done on the warm days as well as the cold days kept Rebecca run off her feet. Each day, Dennis the father would trek over and fill heavy buckets with water to bring to the dogs, the goats, the horses, the cats, the chickens, and the ducks. Together, father and daughter would smash the ice, spread the food, move the hay, clean up the poop, and collect the eggs. While Rebecca and Dennis were outside, Mother, who was now grandmother to over 63 grandchildren, was busy filling up the home with an abundance of Christmas magic. For the kids, every day was different than the last. There was so much glitter and glue and wrapping paper that they thought their house had been turned into the North Pole. Grandmother kept the children busy stirring and baking, cooking and cleaning, and always creating. The children dipped delectable chocolate cookies sprinkled with everything delicious in Christmas to give to their neighbors. The grandmother and the children decorated elaborate gingerbread villages, making little snowmen and planting trees throughout the display. The lonely mantle got candles and snowflakes and beautiful white wooden houses that grandmother showed the children how to paint and sprinkle with snow and icicles. They rolled the dough, intricate Christmas ornaments which they strung into garlands and hung all over the house. Together they created a tempting display of fake foods for the hot cocoa bar so that it wouldn't be snitched by hungry tummies. By the time Christmas was over, poor Dennis and Lorraine were exhausted. They had worked so hard and had so much fun that they had almost forgotten why they didn't visit Alberta in the wintertime.
really nice here in Alberta. Nice and warm.
Early one morning, when the earth was neither covered in snow or ice or mud, the mother and father made their escape. They dashed out the door, boarded a plane, and flew home to their quiet, clean house on the island. But behind them was a trail of magic that their grandchildren would remember forever.